Hey guys, Bitcoin on here. Um, the US Federal Reserve met today in Washington, I believe, and they decided to hold rates unchanged. So there has been huge pressure placed on Jay Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, the chairman, Jay Powell, to reduce rates, cut them down far lower than where they are at the moment. They're at the 3.25 or 3.5% at the moment, I believe. And Trump has been putting pressure on Powell, basically, in the media, in public. This is not in private over the telephone. This is in public across the media, and he's even threatening to fire Jay Powell if he doesn't reduce interest rates down to zero. Apparently, Trump wants them. Trump is saying that the U.S. government is being hit with huge interest bills, basically on their borrowings, and that Powell should cut rates to save the U.S. government money, basically. Back in 2020, they were saying that the Fed painted itself into a corner, and that there was no way that they could raise rates. Well, interest rates were at 0% there during COVID and before COVID in 2020, and they still managed to raise rates in spite of all what the analysts were saying, that they had painted themselves into a corner. That's quoting them directly. They were saying that there was no way that the Fed could raise rates off zero, that they were stuck on zero bound forever, basically, until the dollar blew up, basically, and there was hyperinflation and the dollar became worthless. So they did raise rates in 22 and 23, and now we're in 2026, and Trump wants them to reduce rates. Jay Powell is under huge pressure, but I wouldn't like to be in Jay Powell's shoes at the moment with the pressure that he's under. And they voted 10-2 to keep rates unchanged today in Washington, D.C. So that's the Fed anyway. Silver is up another 5 or 6% today. It's at close on $120 per ounce of silver. Silver basically tells us how much stress the system is under, and how much money printing is going on around the world. The more money that gets created, basically, the higher the price of silver will, and the faster the price will rise, basically. So I would buy silver, but I would buy Bitcoin. If I had no Bitcoin, I would definitely be buying Bitcoin now. I think to many silver is a surer bet, basically, but silver is quite bulky. It's so cheap at the moment that it's quite bulky. A large amount, we say $1 million worth of silver would be about a quarter of a ton. Would buy you a quarter of a ton of silver. $1 million invested in silver at $120 per ounce would get you. I don't know what it would get you. Maybe a fair amount of silver anyway. That less than it would have done a year ago, because the silver price is up almost 300% in 12 months. And those are huge gains. Bitcoin used to rise at that kind of a rate in its early days, but not anymore. Bitcoin is money, basically, and silver was the alternative to the dollar. Was silver. Silver is money. Silver coins as money, as an alternative to the fiat, because silver has intrinsic value. Fiat has no intrinsic value. They say that Bitcoin has no intrinsic value too, but Bitcoin's intrinsic value is its fixed limited supply. So Bitcoin does have intrinsic value, and that intrinsic value is its fixed limited supply. There's no way of increasing the supply. There's no way of hacking people's Bitcoin, stealing people's Bitcoin. Unless you've got a poor password, a weak password, I suppose, to your hardware wallet. But hardware wallets are very difficult to hack as well. Like they've got all sorts of procedures and precautions on the hardware wallets and policies that prohibit and prevent the stealing and hacking of Bitcoin. For instance, with the Trezor wallet, if you guess the PIN number, okay, then the time you get doubled. You have to wait doubles each time. The time you have to wait before you can enter and have another cut at the PIN number to the hardware wallet doubles each time. So it's like 2 to the power of infinity. You have to wait minutes, seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years for a new possibility of entering your PIN number. That's the security on the hardware wallets. And Bitcoin is secure. I was reading up on ZK snarks and ZK starks, and they reckon ZK starks are better than ZK snarks. ZK stands for zero knowledge. And ZK starks could be the way out of this quantum computing problem that Bitcoin has at the moment. Anyway, I leave you guys. Check out Satoshi's Inner Circle on Patreon if you get a chance. Bye.